Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Marcus from MOTIV8, and we are in another episode of our podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the last one. We want to say thank you to everyone who took a listen to the last few episodes. It is definitely an honor that you guys said you liked it. So, in the room today, we have Corey Mickey.
What's up, everybody?
We have Gabriel Del Cid.
Hello, hello.
We're missing my wife, Patience. She has the flu.
We miss you, Patience.
I might about you, buddy.
She's going to kill you.
That's fine.
So, today we're dealing with a topic that was suggested by a user. And
That's what's up.
yeah, so pretty excited about this
Oh, yeah.
topic. So, the topic that we're going to be discussing today is a beginning or an early life crisis. Now, most of the times that people hear this statement, it's usually dealing with midlife crisis. This is a time usually where the husband runs off with a yoga instructor and buys a Corvette and wants to live life like it's golden, or the woman just decides she's just going to wild out. And it's due to a difference in a mindset or a feeling of that you feel like life is almost over.
Right.
And I think one of the things that we're going to discuss today that is going to have to really hit us at home is what people were feeling before at the age of 40, we're feeling at like 25.
What do you consider early to be an early life crisis? Are we talking about like childhood trauma, or we're talking about depression, or
I'm thinking about a realization that I have not achieved what I wanted to achieve, or what others say I should have achieved.
Okay.
I think my problem is, I think people use that word too loosely. Everything's a crisis. So the truth be told is, when we say early life crisis, what is considered a crisis?
A realization that I'm not where I want to be.
Is that a crisis?
I don't think it's a crisis. I think it's just a...
I think it's your choices, not a crisis.
I just believe it's the mentality that you have at
Yeah,
whatever
like I
age.
think it's. I think it's your mind. I don't think it's more so an early life crisis. I think we've answered that question. I think this episode's over. Like,
Oh my God.
no, seriously. But
That's record time. It's time to go.
That's great. Hey, thanks for but I think it's really in your choices. So when you say early life crisis, because when we think crisis, we always think like the age of 40. Mm-hmm. So I guess
Over the hill.
Yeah. So I guess like early is like like that 25 age.
So the quarter life crisis.
Yeah. What are you doing stressing at 25?
For sure.
That's like, seriously, like you're 25.
I mean, I'm thankful we're in the Gary V era where he's pushing that age limit that it really isn't a number. I mean, it's really just a number
right
now, and you can find success at whatever age, whether it be 60, 80, 19, or whatever the heck.
Absolutely.
And, pushing the entrepreneurship and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. For me, I mean, I am nowhere near where some of the people that I grew up with are now. So everybody's pregnant. Everybody's already had their second child, most of them. That's the thing. Most of these females had their child early, like 18, 19. And
are you talking about the girl who was in school with the baby fat jacket?
Okay, I'm sorry. I think he said everybody's pregnant.
Everyone. I'm like, I know.
No,
sir.
No, okay.
Don't you put that even on me, Ricky Bobby. No more. No mas.
Normally I can recover from gay, but then I was like, whoa.
He knows something I know.
I was like, man.
There's a word.
I was like,
I think it comes back down to a little bit of expectations.
Yeah.
And it's perceived as though what we're doing at our age right now is not enough. And I know I hear it a lot from different generations.
Who though?
Older
That's
generations.
The thing. Yeah, it's the people that fought in the wars though. Like World War II type boomers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
and I hate
boomer.
to say it, yeah, because I'm sick of hearing "okay, boomer" from these radical little children that believe 27 is a boomer.
Gen Z?
You're 2 for 2 right now.
Okay, boomer.
Everybody's pregnant, and the people that fought in the wars. We're at war right now. Are you crazy? Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? But it's the truth though. Like, I think it's hard because we keep comparing our success to people that did not have the struggles that we have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not trying to be funny. I know it's going to sound funny. Bread is $1.99 right now.
gas is $4.
It was not like that when our parents were growing up.
And not only that, I think what is perceived as success in the eyes of other generations is the American dream of white picket fence, wife, boy and a girl, living life like it's golden.
Yeah.
But that's not not only is that not per se achievable
right.
in what is today's society, it's honestly not really wanted.
Well, I think it's not only that, but I think we label success based upon the fact if our goals have come to manifest, and I hate to use that word, but it have come to manifestation by the time we set. So if we say by the time I'm 30, I want to own a house, but if you're 29 and you're still working at Valero, oh God.
Their chicken is banging.
Oh God, I don't eat chicken, so I'm buying. But if you're 29 working at Wawa, you working a double shift, you just feel like, oh my God, I'm not successful because it has not come when you thought it should come.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think sometimes we label that as a crisis, but I don't think that's a crisis. You've got to consider what choices were made that did not let those goals actually come.
And what was out of your hands.
Right.
Because there's a lot of stuff that you just can't control.
But I feel like that image of what the expectations are at certain ages or what should be considered success is very poignant or very dependent on the era that we're now in, which is the information era, the technology age.
Absolutely.
The internet boosted this so much. I mean, before if you honestly think about it, the reason that our parents or their parents didn't go through such expectations was because information wasn't so readily available. Everything was newspapers or black and white TVs or just the beginning of black and white movies and stuff like that. But now there is an 8-year-old making millions of dollars for his parents on YouTube.
Shout out to Ryan.
For just playing with toys and reviewing toys.
That's it.
Like that's the age of success that we're in, where information is so readily available that you can automatically set your expectations to something that you see on the internet, something you see on the TV, because it's so saturated with people that are quote unquote gaining that success.
Right.
So what do you say to the person who's feeling that pressure on both sides? Because you're feeling the pressure from the older generation saying you're lazy, you're not doing enough. And then you're also feeling the pressure of your peers who may seem as though they're successful. And even if you don't know them, what is considered success in our generation is, unfortunately, the Kim Kardashians, the Kylie Jenners, these people who are online who have a perception of success and it seemed like it came overnight. How do you encourage the person who's sitting in the middle of that who doesn't have Kardashian bloodline?
I feel like that's a tough call because you have to answer the question: are you actually doing enough? Are you actually putting in as much effort as you should be or can be? And where do you find that balance of putting in X amount of effort and breathing and saying, hey, I'm still young. I have to take it day by day. I shouldn't be overexerting myself this way. Or I shouldn't be putting myself on the chopping block.
But why can't we just flip the scales and say that is not considered success? What is success? Because if you're talking about success to me is you're paying your bills, you're happy.
Yeah.
Because if you're going off of what everybody else considers success, there's people out here who have what the older generation would consider, life of, white picket fence, all that great stuff, who just genuinely aren't happy. And then there's also on the other coin, there's people who are on social media who have crazy amounts of followers, likes like crazy, but they really can't stand themselves. They don't like themselves.
I think the greatest killer of destiny, the greatest killer of a grind is comparison.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people have been, and here goes this word again, they've been killing their momentum.
Boom.
Dealing with comparison. Because like you said, it's like these Instagram relationships.
Fake.
People, they put on this this image like it's perfect. And I have a saying. If you're going to show us when y'all got together and y'all break up, show me that too. Be public about the breakup.
Show me the bad.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I think we compare so much of what success looks like. And I think the hardest part is everybody who's successful doesn't talk about, nor are they willing to show the struggle.
But we talked about that before. Of no one likes to see Superman when he's Clark Kent. So we don't have a, what was it called when you used to do a science project? You don't have a subject that has not two different subjects where you can look at it and say, okay, this is when everything's going good, like you said,
right,
and this is when everything's going bad. I can relate to the failures because I myself am having failures. And what happens is the generations before us, I personally feel as though they don't explain the failures as much. I don't think anyone likes talking about their failures.
Of course not. No.
Any generation. So it's like, you hold me to this high standard of what you want us to be from both angles, younger and older, but you don't tell us about you got denied a loan 15 times.
Bankrupt.
You don't tell us all that unless you're going to make money off of it.
Right.
Because it's not on brand.
Exactly. So, you get the people who will tell you about, oh, I slept in my car 8 years and I was digging in the garbage behind Chipotle, and you're like, those are the people who make money off of that.
Yeah.
But the regular day Joe Snow who owns an HVAC company, who no one wants to hear his story when truthfully we really do.
For sure.
Okay, so success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose. It's just a goal accomplished. That's all success is. So like my question is, are you being successful? If you accomplish a goal, that's success.
That's it.
And so I think we're heightening what we think this. I think the word means something different to everybody, but take the word for what it means as far as like success. And so my question is it a crisis? Is it really a crisis if the goal doesn't come when you want it to come? Is that really considered a crisis?
Can I pop some people's bubbles?
Go for it.
I think the problem that we're running into is they don't consider it success unless someone else appoints it.
Wow.
It's success if no one knows. If you can complete a goal that you set for yourself, the world doesn't have to give you a parade for you to feel as though you completed it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the biggest issue of no one's happy about my success. And it's like, boo-boo, I'm fighting to get my own.
I'm fighting.
I don't have time to give you a ticket day parade every time.
What is a crisis?
Look it up. Because it's real, though. Because it's like, is it a crisis or is it life?
Yeah. And what exactly is it that's causing you to believe that you're not
a time of
successful at that
intense
point?
Difficulty, trouble, or danger? Okay, intense difficulty
or danger. Are you in danger?
Are you
Are you all right?
Are you in trouble?
You all right, boo-boo?
Some of y'all probably are in trouble, but intense
Listening
difficulty,
to the podcast right now?
On the run.
Call
okay?
911, buddy.
Okay.
We put a whole list of captions of hotlines you can call.
Like intense difficulty. And I think that people think because it is not happening at their rate, it's difficult. Mm-hmm. And so we don't like anything that is a struggle or that's something that's hard. Like, I tell some of the people that I mentor that when I was lifting weights with Kenny, my brother, I know it doesn't look like it, but when I was lifting weights, I don't miss any meals.
Help me, Jesus.
When I was lifting weights, okay, hello. When
I will not be a part of this conversation in 2 weeks.
You're here. But I was lifting weights with my brother, and so I was lifting, and everything was going good. I'm like killing it, y'all. Like, and he's like, no, and I'm like, what? Like, he's like, no. I was like, what's wrong? I was lifting according to my comfortability, and so he was like, it doesn't build muscle until there's a form of resistance.
Got to be some pain.
And so, listen, it has to be. And I think the problem is the moment there's resistance, it's just like, oh, I'm not supposed to do it. It's okay. I won't worry about it. No, like resistance builds muscle. And so things being difficult and a difficulty, intense, it's different. Yeah. So like, why is everything a crisis?
It's not. I feel like what we're running into is people are way more in a position to access other people's whining. I will give the generation before us this. They did have a mentality of, if life sucks, you'll never know. It was a conversation of, you remember the whole saying, what happens in our house stays in our house. It was that conversation.
Also, the whole house is crazy.
I've never had that, sir. I mean,
really? So when I say that, it's more of a, don't let nobody know my business, in the sense of, if you ate ramen for 6 days straight, don't you go over my sister's house telling them you've been eating ramen 6 days straight.
I thought y'all were talking about like weird uncles.
Oh no,
And,
no, they get shot.
Okay, bet.
Greenleaf.
It's never really did like the show.
Back.
It was more so, if we struggling, don't tell nobody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
because everybody knew we were struggling.
But was there a similar struggle? Oh my God, help me!
Everybody
knew. But was there a similar struggle within the community or within your family group?
We was in the poor sections, of course. I mean, the neighbors knew we was poor because they was poor too.
So
I'm on the verge of tears.
I'm trying to hold it
Y'all don't
together.
understand.
I'm trying.
Oh no, doesn't take long. Go ahead.
I just don't understand.
So was there like a neighborhood potluck of leftovers on the food stamp card? I got 3 left. What you got on it? It's like, what?
Are you crazy? Oh my God! Yes,
It's real though.
Yeah, I just feel like, okay. What was the question?
I'm so lost.
What was the question?
The main thing was dealing with the whole the generation before us, how they did not. They didn't let struggle define their next move.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So it was even if I gotta work 3 jobs to make it get done, you'll never see me sweat.
Right.
And I feel like our generation is, because pain is so sensationalized. If you cry on Instagram, you can get 100,000 views like that.
Oh yeah.
So pain is an option now.
It's clickbait.
It's definitely
it's
clickbait.
monetizable.
Now explain clickbait for the people. Clickbait.
Well, it depends. I mean, obviously it's basing something. So let's say basing your video or basing your post off of something that it isn't. So it still gives context as to what exactly is inside of your content, but it's just a false narrative of that content.
Pretty much, the people got bamboozled.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like for some of y'all where your thumbnail don't match your video.
Huh?
Exactly. But it's just a way to trick people to get into that video so they can view your content so that you can monetize off of that content.
So once again, if someone sees, okay, life's a little tough. Either I can suck it up, get back up the next day, and like Pop said, you live, son, to fight another day. R.I.P. Pops. But if you have someone who's online and you see that they're going through something and people are loving and crying and on their posts encouraging them and in their DMs telling them you can keep on fighting, I'm going to go on Instagram and I'm going to choose to cry instead of keep fighting.
Corey, are you okay?
He left us.
R.I.P. Pops was it for me. I mean, you kind of have a point. Like, I think it's hard. It's difficult. And I think people, for those of you who are listening, I don't want you all to feel like, and watching, I want you guys to feel like we don't understand.
Oh, no, we understand.
We completely understand. It's just, for me, there's a certain level of sympathy I don't have. I really don't, because everybody has the same 24 hours in the day.
Yes.
The question is, what are you doing with your time?
Correct.
Watching everybody else's success.
And I think that's the part that's really kind of like.
But it's also understandable that some people are not in a position, for whatever reason, to make the most out of that 24 hours.
No.
But I have to. I mean.
Okay.
Houseway.
Yeah.
I don't know, but there could be certain conditions in which a person is in that won't allow them to sit.
I will agree with you. I'll say this, that there are certain people who want to be certain things, and maybe it's hard for them to obtain that where they are.
So that means they need to assess what they want to be.
But not even that.
So you're telling them to change their dream because of where they are?
But once again, we're dealing with a crisis of what is perceived as success and what people are putting on you to be. So if someone's telling you you need to own a home by 30 or you need to be married by 30,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've achieved that. So I'm going to do everything I can to make everyone around me happy to achieve that goal. But here's the question. Is that your goal? Will that make you happy? Because if you're talking about 24 hours and everyone has it, no, you're not going to give everything into a goal that you really don't want to have happen in your life. If you really want it done, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. When I really set a goal for myself and something I want done, there is no such thing as hours, minutes, or seconds. For me, it all blends together. So I'm going to do whatever I have to do in whatever time I have to get it done. Now, if it's a task that I really, really, really don't want to do, I'm looking at it like I'm working overtime and I'm a union worker. Like, I've been spending 10 minutes on this goal. Like, I really don't want to do this.
Like the 9 to 5 that
exactly
most people are in.
So
yeah.
Is it really a goal, or is it something that someone else really wants you to do? How many kids do we know that go to college and do majors that they can't stand?
Here's the question in accordance or piggybacking off of that. You know, people going through majors that they don't understand, that they don't want. Mm-hmm. What do you tell the people going through the crisis of, I'm in this quarter life crisis because I still don't know what I want to be. I don't have that set goal. I don't have that set dream. I don't know what I want to be at this age. I mean, let's say I'm almost turning 30. Mm-hmm. I don't have a family or whatever. Let's say you're in that good condition where you don't have people dependent on you. What do you tell them about not having a goal or an ambition of what they would want to be? Not because they don't want to have one, because they can't figure it out. They don't know what they love.
Okay, so this will probably get me voted off the show, but I just kind of feel like if you're 30 and you don't know what you want to do yet, change your friends. I don't understand. Change your friends.
It is a circle issue.
Change your company.
Why do you believe that?
By the age of 30, I mean, let's be serious. You've been living. Look how much you've seen. You were born in the 80s. First of all, you were born in the 80s, coming to the 90s.
Thank God I'm a 90s.
Hold on. I'm like, for me, I'm 31. I'm going on 32. Mm-hmm. I'm saying I knew not only by my company, but it was just things I was considering when I was in my 20s. I want to do, this is what I want to do. This is what I don't want to do. I don't want to do this. And I feel like that by the age of 30, you should kind of be getting a grip on something that you want to be considerably great at or even known for, in a sense.
Okay. So I may get voted off.
Oh, no, this is your show.
There is nothing wrong with living a life that doesn't make headlines.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all.
So I think the problem that when you make that statement for the people who don't know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah.
I'm okay with you still figuring it out until you get in your grave, as long as you're okay with still figuring it out until you get in your grave. But if you're not okay with it, you can't get mad at everyone else around you for pushing you to try to figure it out.
Don't make us feel guilty.
You see what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you're like, hey, I haven't figured out a major yet, I'm just going to graduate in general studies. Or other side coin, major news alert. If you decide college just is not for me.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay with the decisions that you make, you will have to have a innermost conversation of, I don't care what anyone else says. This is what I want to do.
Right.
But the problem that I run into is I don't want to hear about your whining or your complaining or your crying about everyone else putting all these goals on you when you really don't know what you want. And there's a difference between, hey, I'm going to skate through life and pay my bills, be happy with my friends, and live until either God reveals to me what it is his plans are for me, or I have an experience where it's like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I think at the same time, though, I think we should find an ability to be content with the people around you who are pushing you, though, at the same time, to kind of like, play both sides of the script. Be excited about the people who are pushing you. You might consider it harassment, but the people that are pushing you there, because like, oh my, but my thing is, be grateful that somebody sees something greater in you than you see in yourself.
Absolutely.
Correct. I would flip the coin a bit And I would say if you don't have that specific goal set, or if you don't know what you're going for yet, and the crowd around you is pushing you, be the person that pushes them up to succeed as well. If you haven't been able to find who exactly you are, then be the person that at least motivates the people around you to become as successful as possible.
Yeah, if you're not the push, be the pusher.
Right. If you're just sitting there doing nothing, there's only so much energy somebody can put into you until they're drained.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to get something back from it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, listening, watching this podcast, and this is going to be very, very strange. If you're watching this podcast, if you're listening and you don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, inbox me. I'm so serious.
And how do they reach you?
KOREYMICKIE on Facebook or Instagram. Seriously, like inbox me and I will help you. I mean, and that's that, you know, Marcus said that's very strange.
Real strange.
But my thing is, I want every person to be great in what they do and be content. Because like Marcus said, it's not about being in the headlines.
No.
You know, I was like kind of sitting here thinking, when y'all loaded All Things New, do you know the name of the guy that hit the enter button for the music to get to iTunes? Absolutely not.
Nope, but he was vital.
Thank you. He was vital in his lane, and you've got to be okay with the fact that you're in your lane, but your lane may not be the fast lane.
I'm reminded every time I have this conversation with people of this cartoon, and it was this mother holding this boy's hand, and they were watching this man picking up trash as a trash man. And this lady says to her kid, "You need to go to college so you never end up like that guy." And a lady comes by in the cartoon and says, "Why wouldn't your child want to be that guy? He's a union worker. He makes $20-something an hour, and he makes more than you do with the degree that you have." So it's like, we have to stop expecting to be a doctor, lawyer. If you want to do that, do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But be okay if you have a dream of just, hey, I want to be the best painter I can ever be, or I want to be the best administrative assistant.
Yeah.
Be the best at whatever it is that you want to do. And you may not get an award for it. But if you go to sleep happy, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. And even here's another thing. Whatever it is you're doing right now, be great at that until the door opens for what it is you really want to do. I can't trust you, or not only me as an employer, but God, how can God trust you to give you the means to be able to do what it is you really desire to do if he can't even trust you to be great at what it is that you have right now? And a lot of people are, you know, criers, complainers, and pretty much just
criers.
Just whining. And I'm like, yo, just excuse me, but shut up and work.
Right. Well, see, I think it's difficult because, like, for me, you know, I don't necessarily have a 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? My job is I work for the kingdom. You know, I work for God. So all of my time is spent either pastoring or shout out to Worship at Revelation Church. Shameless plug. So I'm either pastoring or I'm preaching, and that's great. But I keep telling people all the time, the reason it's easy for me is because I actually like doing what I'm supposed to do. And what I want to do is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think that level of dissatisfaction comes when people are doing what they want to do, but what they want to do is not what they're supposed to be doing.
And I think that's just for me, I have to sometimes stop and reflect and have another level of sensitivity.
Yeah.
Because, like Corey said, as me as well, when I was called to what I do as a minister, as all those other things,
right,
I was already in it before it became a calling. So I have to have another level of sensitivity because I've never had that inner battle.
Never had to search.
Right.
Yeah, of what it is.
Yeah. Right.
So, and regardless of whether it's on staff or it's a contractor or whatever it is, I will always find my way back to it because it's what I love.
Right.
And sometimes I have to be sensitive and saying, okay, like Gabe said, maybe they just don't have the means. But that's when it comes back to, Are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to pull your pants up and get to work?
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like,
he said, where the pants come from?
Why are his pants down in the first place? Is the question.
Like, I mean, but that's what it comes down to. Like, if that's what you want to do, find a way. Like, find somebody to talk to. Like, research that.
Mentorship.
Yeah.
Finding mentors. That's so tough,
It's
though,
tough.
man.
It is
It's
tough.
Oh
tough
my God,
sometimes.
it's tough,
It's
man.
tough.
It's tough because it gets hard. Because what do you do when you start exceeding beyond the point that your mentor can no longer guide you?
Okay, so let me. This is something I learned, and this will burst a lot of people's bubble. Stop looking for a mentor in the same field you're in. If you are great at music, it does not mean that you have to find a music mentor.
It's very good.
There are means and other things that can be taught to you that does not have to be in your actual field. I'm reminded all the time of Andy Stanley, great pastor, North Point in Georgia. One of his mentors and one of the leaders that he entrusts to guide him is the ex-CEO of Home Depot. Now, what can someone from Home Depot tell a pastor? And he said he learned some of the greatest things from a man who ran Home Depot. And another mentor of his was a guy who had a furniture company in an office building. But he said he learned respect, he learned value, he learned business aptitude, he learned all these things. But truth be told, if you keep searching or seeking a mentor in the field that you're in, you may never find them because they'll see you as a threat.
Right.
And that's really why a lot of us can't find mentors in the field that we're in, because it's like, it's a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited that I may have a mentee, but then when I start listening to what your problems are and where you're at, I really shouldn't be mentoring you. You should be mentoring me.
It's not even that. What if I give you my secret formula? What if I give you my trade secrets? I'm now saturating the market with the secrets that took me time to build.
Exactly.
With the reasons why I'm still in business. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that.
Some of the greatest mentors are the unknowns. And I think a lot of doors will be open for mentees if you just search for people who are available and are willing to pour into you. Because you will get discouraged when you keep sending out emails and, on LinkedIn and contacting these people. It has to hit you in your spirit, and it has to hit you in your confidence when you don't hear anything back.
Right.
When they don't even read it.
Or they don't read it, and it's just. But you need to change your perspective up, and until I can get in the room, I still need to get fed.
I think that but what Gabe was talking about with mentoring, that I guess they become afraid that because they haven't used or they haven't maximized. What people don't really understand is that even as a mentee or as a mentor, if I'm mentoring somebody and I give them my formula, the truth of the matter is, one, they'll never be able to present it like me.
No.
Because they didn't create the formula.
Absolutely.
So in that sense, they'll be a carbon copy. Now, I think what a lot of people don't understand is sometimes it is easier to mimic until you can create.
I agree.
And so I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. But as a mentor, if you give that formula, one, that should be a push to let you know, if I gave away my secret formula, there's got to be something else coming. Or you've got to be content with the fact that you are willing to replicate yourself in the earth.
Yeah.
And I don't think that mentors find the ability to be content in the fact that I planted this seed. And because I planted that seed, they're going to plant another seed.
Yeah.
And they're going to and so I think that's when it kind of starts becoming difficult with trying to help people, because they feel like they're not accomplished enough.
To be a mentor?
Or I guess they're not feeling they're accomplished enough to share the formula. And
Gotcha.
for me, I'm saying as a mentor, be content in the fact that you created the formula, but just because you created it doesn't mean you're the one that's supposed to present it.
Time out. Be content in the fact that someone even wants to ask.
Exactly. And the fact that you were willing to give the formula and you're able to see it work. Mm-hmm. And I think the hard part starts becoming as a mentor that you don't want to give the formula because you want to be the one to work it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be content in the fact that you created this formula.
Well,
this, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
So here is where this will challenge a few people. There's a difference between being a mentor or a vision pusher. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem that a lot of mentors have, they don't want to mentor people because I want you to be like me. A vision pusher is, even if I don't know the area that you're dwelling or, you're delving into, I'm going to push your vision for you to maximize who you are.
Right.
And some people don't mentor people because it's like, I can't relate. What your goal is doesn't match up with what I am. And it's like, no, you don't have to create another you. You just sometimes need to be an ear. Sometimes just to be able to slap somebody upside the head and say, no, get your stuff together. I've been through this.
Right.
Mentoring doesn't mean producing a product of you. It's sometimes simply just listening.
Right.
Giving guidance.
And that's enough.
And sometimes it's not even consulting on the business side of things. It's consulting in the personal life. If I'm calling you as a mentee, it's because I've extinguished all areas of me figuring it out myself. I'm not going to call you just a rap.
Right.
I'm calling you because I don't see a way out of this.
Well, I'll say this to kind of flip. I think we've got to also consider that some of you don't need a mentor, you just need a team. And I think sometimes people are always looking, and now, like Gabe said, there's nothing wrong with having a mentor, but I don't feel like people should just completely, I don't want to say dumb themselves down, box themselves into like, I can't figure this out, I need a mentor. No, maybe you just need some people around you that have the same mindset.
Time out. Or maybe you just need to go research.
Maybe.
That's what I was gonna say. At the same token, some people
or lazy.
Some people believe that they need a mentor.
Yep.
The reality is they just don't have the gall to go and research it themselves. They don't have the energy to go and find it themselves. I mean, I can relate to this myself. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it, but sometimes I am this way. If there's someone that knows more than I do and they're present in the room, I would rather ask them the question to get the quick answer and then be able to know that answer from now on, rather than to go and research it or figure it out myself.
I can't even lie to you because, and I'm going to be honest, Marcus is that guy for me. If I don't know, I'm not going to go look it up. Like, I'll call Marcus and be like, yo, do you know such and such? Okay, thanks, and I hang up.
But
I won't research.
Time out.
It's easier that way, though.
Time out.
I'm with Gabe on this one.
But there's a difference between the three of us in this room and some people who are just lazy. We will get the quick answer, but we will still seek understanding.
I agree.
So hear me out with this. Yes, we'll seek the answer, but we won't take that answer as that's the fact. We're going to go try it out. There's some people who receive the answer from others and will go through life like that's the only answer. It has to be right. Yeah, it has to be perfect because they said it. And then when they actually attempt to use it in real life, it's like, well, so-and-so said this was what it was.
Yeah,
That's
right. Sometimes, because for me personally, I'll ask the question, get the answer, be like, okay, how did you get that?
Exactly. You ask the right question.
Some people don't do that.
No,
and so,
they don't.
Which goes back to it is it a crisis or are you not making any choices?
I don't even know if it's not making a choice. I think it's, are you seizing the moment?
Wow.
Because there are some people who have made the choice. It's just, you think you still got time.
Man, that's good.
And when you finally get to the end of it, it's like, what did I do with the last? I think this 2020 thing shook some people. Because it's like, what did I do with this last decade?
Yep.
What the heck did I do? And here's another thing. You want to know?
You want to think about it just to put it into perspective? These 2000 babies are 20 years old now, man.
Bro,
this generation in front of us is real. 20 years old.
You want to know what hit me? My high school reunion.
Oh, Lord.
I didn't go to mine.
I didn't go to mine either. But
I am going to.
What hit me was I was having a conversation with my mom and we were just talking and, the whole conversation of oh yeah, we lived here when you were in school. And I was like, yeah, that had to be like 5 years ago. And she was like, no, son, it was about 15 years ago.
Jesus.
And it was just like, oh my God.
Okay, so what year did you graduate?
09.
Gabe?
11.
Wow.
You're 08, right?
2006.
2006?
Jesus.
Okay.
Really?
Right. Okay.
Was AOL out then?
06?
Guys, I don't
Really?
I'm uncomfortable.
Shout out to the Stafford Indians.
They tore the school down.
Yeah, they did. They
built a new school.
They tore your high school down?
Wow.
They should have done it way before.
Gabe, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Shout out to Hilton.
The energy
Bulldogs.
coming from this side.
They tore your high school down. Yes.
What was it, rat infested?
The problem is all the high schools in Stafford look the same.
They do. Woodbridge too, though. Woodbridge has like
for
2
sure.
models of the school.
That's it.
And it's like, well, let's toss the coin. This new school will be Model B. And it looks exactly the same. Woodbridge looks like Garfield.
Layout
Hilton
A,
looks like
layout
Forest
B.
Park.
Yep.
Yep. Colgan looks like Colgan because they got money.
Yep.
They put a full-blown 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools in that school.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Seriously.
Down the street, man.
I
They spent bread.
I will say this, though, and I can willingly admit that from the time that I graduated high school to this moment, I really didn't maximize my time. I was just thinking this the other day. I was in the car, I was driving, and I don't know if this is y'all testimony, but I said out loud, I really wish I would have went to college. Now, I don't know where I would be. I don't know what turns life would have taken.
I agree and disagree.
Glory to
I'm going to
God.
put a tag in this one real quick.
I don't know what would have happened, but there is a piece of me that I really wish I would have went to college. Now, the dorm life, I don't know if that was for Corey Mickey, but I really wish I would have went to college.
Should I ask a question? So with the college thing, was it more of the knowledge or the experience?
For me, I will say it would have been both. But here's the thing. The reason I agree and disagree is because I took 2 years off before, and this is just backstory on me, before my mother convinced my girlfriend at the time to convince me to go to college.
Mom's got the juice.
She does. Love her. But had she not convinced her, I wouldn't have found out that I liked college.
You like college?
I liked college.
My mom convinced
I mean,
my girlfriend
girlfriend
to
to
convince me.
convince
Okay,
me.
I was
Okay,
lost.
yeah, you got it.
Sorry. You did?
Yes, I liked it, but that's the thing.
More power.
Within the field that I'm in, which is IT, I learned that I could have just gone straight for the certifications that I needed instead of wasting my time
Got you.
at that college.
Got you.
I could have said, because I did out of pocket because I'm not doing these loans.
No.
I'm not being in
They
debt.
killed your boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
So I paid out of pocket for 4 years in order to get my degree, and it was a waste of money. But that was for me. If you're in college, don't you dare drop out.
No. Like if you're in it, like go, I don't want to say do what's best for you because that's too broad of a statement.
That's if you're in college for what he went to for IT.
That's
if you're in
correct.
college for recording arts and music production, send me a message at Marcus St. Julian on IG or Facebook. I'm going to save you a few bucks.
So how was your college experience?
Trash.
Oh man.
All I did was get high and get drunk the whole time.
Really?
Absolutely,
What
man.
college you go to?
I was at Full Sail.
Oh yeah.
Bro,
Yes, you are. Yes,
sales,
you
You
are.
don't
Yes, you
you
are.
don't
Yes, you are.
send kids to Orlando, Florida
you
Nah,
don't.
bro.
with reimbursement checks of like $14K and they come straight to the students. It was bad.
Wow.
Kids were literally blowing their whole reimbursement checks on weed. It was bad, bro. Like every night was a party. There was no, and remember, this is 24-hour school.
Oh yeah.
So kids are going to the club. We were clubbing and then had class at 3 a.m.
So do you regret going to college?
I regret that loan.
Oh my God.
I don't regret the experience though. I mean, the
For sure.
experience was cool. I feel like that was my prodigal season
Okay.
because I was the youngest. So I was
Yeah.
in college at 17. So
I mean, I was the first one out of my family to gain any type of degree. Well, no, because my mother gained it. My mother's a freaking
I'll
beast.
say your mom's a
dog.
hustler though.
She is a beast. I love that woman. Anyway, but I feel like we can say that no matter what, there have been regrets that we either fully regret or you can't say that you would want to take it back because it took you to a certain point in your life where you could either reflect or look back upon and say, I'm better because of this. That who would I have been could have been the incorrect person.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that I
see,
should not
I don't think I would have liked
been in
college
this
degree
season.
Corey Mickey.
Well, see, I
don't think I would have liked college Corey Mickey.
I don't know how
That's
many
just me.
I don't know how many baby mamas we could have tolerated. Is all I'm
I
saying.
don't know. I feel like Corey, where he is personally, I think the time you put in, for all of us in this room, we put some work in even while we were wilding. So there are some people whose lives stop while they wait.
Yeah.
We were all still working. I may have been wilding out a little bit, but I was still in the room.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I really wish I would have went to college. I don't regret not going. I will say, me personally, I'm safe because I didn't go to college. Hallelujah, God.
Yeah, glory.
I'm safe.
Huh?
And so
No news articles in Jesus' name.
Listen, I'm alive, okay? Like, I said all that to say that, that opportunity is even allotted, but, to say that for me, it is a crisis, I feel like that means you have turned over every possible card. You've done everything possible that you want to do. Like, like you said, if you want to be a painter, cool. Go find an art school. Go find an art school. You don't know anybody that has an art school, then find you a sip and paint. Find you something.
That's true.
Start drawing and posting your stuff on Facebook. You never. Let me tell you something.
Better paint a living room.
Those sipping paints are everything.
I'm trying to tell you, you never know what you never know what can happen. You know what I'm saying? I've never been, but I'm gonna try it out, Gabe. I appreciate you. You never know what can happen just from doing different things. And so I'm just like, for you to say there's a crisis, like we were saying earlier, whatever you want to do, find a way to research it.
Yep.
Talk to somebody that's in that field. Now sometimes that's hard because people won't help you.
Some people are just jerks.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so, like, you have YouTube, you got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google. I don't know, do we still have Ask Jeeves? Is he still alive?
I think he turned it into Google, right?
No, I think he might still be there.
Really? Ask Jeeves?
AskJeeves.com,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
That used to be the truth.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let me break this down because we got to get out of here.
Okay.
When you hustle to your fullest potential and you're working towards your goal without seeking approval from everyone else, you won't have to find help or a mentor. It will find you.
You should have no reason to regret where you're at if you are pushing yourself that way.
If you're pushing, it should be evident, even if you don't post it.
But here's the one thing I will say for those that believe that they're in this crisis, for whatever it may be, learn and make sure to love yourself and be happy with yourself where you are currently. Regardless of where you want to be, love where you are now, who you are now, so that you will have the ability to become who you want to be or be where you want to be in the future.
I mean, that was a great sign-off, Gabe. I don't even know, like, how do you come back from that? Like,
No, that was really good.
like, oh my! I'm like, there should be mute. Like, the crowd should have stood up.
Strings
And be
should
like,
have started playing or something.
Thank you for coming. You should have walked off stage or something. It's like the last.
I mean, my question
like the
is,
last thing.
why weren't you playing the piano at that point? I mean, I should have said, and I'm closing.
Oh no!
Put me in B flat, Doc.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Gabe, and I'll say, since Gabe started this whole sign off thing, I'll say the hardest part of whatever you want to do is starting.
Yes.
Yep.
So this year, make it your business to literally start.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether it's researching, whether it's asking somebody, and Marcus is letting you know how to contact him. You know how to, for real. We really want to help you because
Yep.
as much as this is going to, Gabe was like, yep, not me.
Don't contact me unless you're my wife.
Oh.
Don't contact me.
Oh.
All right.
But I'm taking it.
Motivate love.
Yeah, welcome to the Quiet Storm Motivate. So like researchers need to do, like ask questions, but this year make it your business to start, even if it's something you've been thinking about for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself that you've never started. You've never started. You've sat on the sidelines, but this year, it's like we're starting a new decade. I don't understand how people are confused about that, but let me kind of go ahead and, it's a new decade, guys. It's really okay.
Confused about.
So, like, make it your business this year to start.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, and we're not trying to make anybody richer. Go to Fiverr. You want a logo? Like, there's so many different
For real.
Marcus.
For real, call me.
No, for real. There are so many different ways to start something, but seriously, make it your business. Whatever you do, painter, singer,
Be the best.
dancer. I mean, when I say dancer, I mean ballet. Ballet
Sorry,
dancer.
Magic City.
Oh my God, stadium. Preacher, money counter,
Follow-up.
accountant, whatever you want to do this year, start. Like seriously, like Gabe said, like love yourself enough to start.
Yes.
That's the best thing you can do. And it doesn't even matter if it doesn't grow this year. Because for real, 3 to 5 years is the foundation for whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So be willing to build a foundation, and I'll end with this: be okay if the foundation is faulty to start over.
Bro.
And nobody wants to start over.
And no one knows how to say that even better
Oh
than
man,
the people in this room.
yo, be okay with starting over.
And when he says 3 to 5 years, when you're seeing this is almost 5 years of work. Motivate didn't just start overnight.
Did not.
This has been a tilling of the ground. This has been a creating a foundation. And there was definitely some excavation moments
Man.
where we had to pull out some bulldozers and said, you know what? It's not worth trying to build on this.
Oh, and those who started are not here.
And, what?
You know.
They would have got us disqualified
Listen.
in this very room at this very moment. So this reminds me of this quote as we get ready to close this out. My grandfather says this all the time. The journey is of 1,000 miles start with one step. Just start. Just get it started. And don't worry about if people around you don't go with you, because there's no bunk beds in heaven.
Well, everybody ain't going. So, yeah.
Everybody ain't going. Everybody going, but everybody ain't staying. And on that note, this is Motivate. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Later.
Love y'all. Bye.